Let's begin to allow some breath to flow. Body's becoming more receptive. We're feeling this sense of excitement to be here, to be moving, to be doing good things for our body. So connecting with a little intention for today, the idea that we're working on is the idea of returning back to a blank slate. I imagine that each and every day could start off as a blank slate, but things start to get filled up in our slate pretty quickly, whether it's social media, reminding us of what to think about, what to stress about, or maybe it's the news, or maybe it's just different stories that keep on replaying in your mind over and over again, things that are still stressing you out. So all these things tend to fill up our plate, fill up our board, and they make it so it's hard to focus on just the beautiful small things of life that make life really awesome. It kind of takes away our power to be creative and to shape our days in amazing ways. And so as we're moving through our class today, we're going to try to hit spots all over the body, helping the whole body feel a little bit more loose, a little bit more alive, heart pumping for us, good things happening. And so as we flow through and also stretch through spots all over the body, let's imagine that it's like we're preparing our energy to release some of the things that are on our plate, so we can return at the very end of class in that final Shavasana, return to a state like we're waking up first thing in the morning, and that we have infinite potential for the rest of the day. The energy of what's in the past or what's going to happen in the future is not bogging us. We're just present, clear, and creative. And so with all this to help lead us on, let's begin nice and easy, knees starting to come into the chest. Whatever helps our back and our hips feel good, take a few breaths, just enjoy being right here. Twisting is such a nice way to kind of help start the spine out. So let's begin to let the knees fall over to the left, arms spreading open. The knees don't have to have both of them stacked unless the spine is happy with that. You could back your way out of it. Just find a spot that feels pretty good through the muscular system. And then continue to let the breath flow, letting that deep massage happen internally. I love using my breath to kind of help me imagine that each breath I take is like an eraser on that chalkboard, helping to swipe it one breath at a time, cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. Enjoying another deep inhale. And then exhale, the knees start to travel up. Take that twist over to the other direction. Enjoy the spine spreading open here as well. That breath cleansing us. As we start to return hips to the ground, we'll prepare for bridge pose. Feet plant close to glutes, hands slide in close to hips. We lift the hips up. If we could reach the hands to clasp under our back, maybe take that clasp, walking shoulders under if possible. The spine tilting up like this, imagine that any stuck energy in those hips, it's like we're reversing gravity, helping it to fall right out of that stuck spot. Almost like an hourglass. We usually keep it in one direction, and it always falls down in that way. But here, when we flip it upside down, we get a whole new perspective, a whole new position. So another good breath in. With our exhale, release hands, hips back to floor. The knees will fall back over to the left. When they make it there this time, let that top leg, the right one, start to straighten out to the floor. I oftentimes like to take that left hand and slide it up the backside of the leg, just however high I can reach. Sometimes it's a calf, sometimes I can make it to toes. Well, that spine spreading open, and we're starting to include some of those hamstring areas. So as we start to release, we're going to take this into a quadricep stretch. So the legs stack for a moment so we can roll over onto our side body. And then we grab the right foot in the right hand behind us. And that quad is taking an easy stretch. If your back also wants to do a little bit of a back bend, you could push the foot into the hand and let the spine arch back. Up to you. Another breath, flow in. Exhale, easy release. Roll the spine onto the floor. Prepare for another bridge pose. Lifting hips up, maybe hands clasped, walking shoulders under. And sometimes here it's nice to kind of shake the hips out. Almost like that shaking gives it a chance for the stuck energy to become free. So if that feels good on the spine, take it. Good. And taking the second side, release the bridge pose, hips are back down, knees fall to right. The top leg, that left one, stretches out long. Open to the floor. The right hand slides up the back side of the leg. Going another deep inhale. That exhale, the top leg, that left one, switches from being in front of us to being behind us. Quad stretch, or maybe that gentle back bend. And let's take another inhale. Exhale, release. Back to bridge pose. Let's lift up. Hands clasped. Maybe shaking again if that felt nice before. Like preparing the skeletal system to not be quite so stuck. Preparing all those muscles to support the skeletal system in the best possible way. One more inhale. Exhale, hands release. Hips to floor, happy baby. Grabbing both feet, the knees get pulled wide. You can choose what to do here. Maybe you're doing gentle rocking. Maybe you're staying still, pulling the knees wide. There's all sorts of options, even just trying to straighten both legs at the same time. And both legs come together. Both legs lower all the way down gradually to the floor. Arms stretch up overhead, nice and long. Take a few breaths just to pull the spine as long and as straight as it can possibly reach. And we'll try to do a roll up, rising all the way up to stretch over toes. We start with an inhale breath. Exhale, the arms rise as slow as possible. We try to roll up one vertebrae at a time. You can always grab the thighs if needed. Continue to stretch over those two straight legs. So I have lots of patience with the hamstrings. Oftentimes, the way I kind of imagine it happening is those hamstrings, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe there's 3 of them. The hamstrings, when they kind of stay stuck in the same position all day, like when we're sitting for long periods, it's like the fascia also kind of gets stuck and it only likes that position. And so sometimes when we're first starting to move into some of these deep stretches, it's almost like we're breaking up that fascia connection, making it so that the muscles can more easily slide into their shapes. So sometimes right at the beginning, it's extra tough. So give it patience. Let's be here a few more breaths. Starting to rise up. Let's take it into boat pose. We'll try to go from half boat, extending toes out, lowering foot rate down, up to the full boat. Repeating that 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and from here into an easy cobbler. Knees to open, spine to relax. Lots of time, lots of patience here. We start to rise up. Let's let the right leg open out to a wide angle. We can begin to drop forward. You can either stay in that forward release spot, or if it feels better, you could walk your torso to be a bit closer to the straight leg. Whatever spot feels best, you choose exactly where to pause. A good inhale. Exhale. Easy rise up to switch the legs out. Same thing, perhaps start by going forward. And then if you want to ease your way towards straight leg, that's welcome. When we come up, we'll take an easy cross-leg position. A couple of stretches for the neck. Perhaps arms hover off to each side, and then right ear starts to drop down to right shoulder. If you ever want to take the right hand and place it on the top ear, that's fine. It just depends on if that feels better for you or not. Releasing the hand if we placed it there, head rocks slightly behind shoulder, jaw goes up. Back over shoulder. Go slightly in front of shoulder, nose turning down. Roll the chin all the way down, equal into the center of the chest, that sternum area. Rising up, we'll take that left ear to left shoulder. Go slightly behind shoulder, jaw up. Put over shoulder. In front, nose turns down. And chin down to chest. Raising the head up. We move into the front of the throat for a moment. When we lift the head up, we're not trying to crunch the bones on the back. So oftentimes after I lift up, I also need to jet the jaw forward. And that will get me really nicely into the front of the throat area. As we release from that, we're going to come up to a nice high kneeling position. Think of that sensation we just had in the throat, and that's what we're trying to find in a nice kind of half camel pose here. So placing the hands on the low back or on the hips go forward, and we'll just stay with hands supporting our back for this first easy one of the day. Let the heart start to rise up, and the goal is to try to feel that same type of stretch through the throat. Oftentimes I'll kind of hike my shoulders up to be a nice little pillow for my head so that I can stretch the throat. Really feel that sensation of stretch. Take another inhale. And exhale, easy up head first. Heart unwinds. So we'll come out of it through rabbit pose. So we touch our forehead to the ground. And then each hand grabs each heel. Once we've got that grip, lift your hips up, and that will rock you onto the top of your head. It'll pull the shoulders into a nice kind of stretch right in between shoulder blade area, that upper back. Good. Another inhale. Exhale. When we release out, you can head to child pose. Either shoulders are resting down, arms tucked back, or maybe your arms go forward. Just resting for a few breaths. And up onto all fours. We're going to use lion's breath today as we're doing our cat cows. So you can kind of watch me for this first one just to get the rhythm. When we do our cat, we're curling the head in. We take a huge inhale. When we do our cow, we stick out our tongue, let all the air out, kind of like that. So imagine it's like you're curling up, trying to gather all the energy that's not useful, When you take that big exhale, just let it right out of your system. Good. So let's take 5 of those together. Nice inhale. One more big one. Good. So spine's back in a nice neutral plane. Start to take your right leg back behind you, hovering, and left arm forward. Sometimes holding in this balance is pretty challenged, so you don't have to do anything more. If you want the additional challenge, exhale, elbow and knee comes to touch underneath. Inhale, length. Good, let's repeat that 4, 3, 2, 1. Either hold or try to find hand and foot connection behind you. If that connection is pretty easy, try to push everything up into the next back bend. Good, release back to the long line. And then just hand goes down. Those right toes touch the earth. And then lift that right heel up using the glute. That's 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and tuck those right toes, press back until you feel a nice calf stretch. Good, drop down to both knees. Now it's left leg that goes straight back, right arm that goes forward. You can hold the balance or take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe hand and foot behind us. If you find it, maybe press up a little back bend. Release back to long line. Hand goes to floor. Left toes touch ground. Lift it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tuck the toes, half stretch. Whenever you're ready, transition just to straight down dog. Any movements, any stillness, anything that's helpful. As long as the body's still receiving goodness. At any point, walking up to the top of the mat when you feel ready. Enjoy this spot, another huge inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Hands down to heart. Taking our right hand by our side, left hand circle up to the sky, reach it all the way over laterally. Much length as you can get in that area. And rise. Switch it up. Rise. Inhale with ease, circle the arms up or shift back a little bit. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Good to heel toe the feet about as wide as mat, toes turning out. We won't go to full Malasana yogic squat yet. First, 3 times. Send the hips back like a football player. Spine is nice and long. And then when you re-straighten your legs, try to give the torso an opportunity to drop even closer to thighs. So doing that 2 more. And re-straighten, pull closer. And 1. Then give it a bonus breath or 2. Really, really close. With toes turned out, let's try to sink all the way into yogic squat. Pushing the hips open. Each breath is a cleansing breath. Bring our top cord. Deep cycle in, out, hands go down. Lift up enough that you can step your right foot back. Lizard pose shape. You could stay much more active, the back being lifted, or you could go much deeper into flexibility, lowering the knee, maybe going to elbows. It's all up to you, your personal preference. Planting our hands, lift up the back knee. We're either going to do step switches, so one foot steps back, the other foot steps forward, and then we switch a few times, or jump switches, both switch at the same time. So you choose, I'll do a slow count of 5, whatever you're doing is fine. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and if you ended up with the left foot forward, do 1 more switch. Then we've got the lizard pose on the second side. Same variation you did before. Your hands, lift up the back knee, slide back up into Malasana, squatting down. And with crow for a moment, hands plant. Start to pick up the knees, sending them up toward tricep, armpit area. Sometimes just holding this position gets our body more used to it, so that's fine. You feel comfortable enough to lift up maybe 1 set of toes and switch, or maybe both at a time. Take a couple breaths to play with it. No rush to come out, but when you feel ready, we'll step back and take a nice little flow. Always take a child pose if you need a few breaths. Still in this heat part of class, let's shift ourselves forward into plank and then lift right back up to down dog. Repeating that one 4. 3. 2. 1. And then shifting into plank. We'll take side plank, so both heels drop to left. You can always have feet separated to make it easier. Stacked is harder. Try to float right arm up if possible. Good. Hand down, up to down dog for a moment. And into plank. Close to the right. Left arm up. Good. Down, down dog. You choose how long to stay until you're ready to be up at the top of the mat. Another good inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Let back, arch back with ease. Hands to heart. Good. Pulling everything upright. Pull our feet grounding down. Feel clearness and calmness pervade the mind. Like no matter what life throws at me, I can choose calmness. I can choose that blank slate. So trying to test the waters for that calmness, let's take a few back-to-back balancing poses. Let's shift our weight into left foot. The first one is tree. Right leg rotates open. Find that spot to look at that's steady. It keeps you in that clear state of mind. Pull the foot grounding down, posture reaching up, maybe arms reaching up. Leaving the left hand up high. Right hand reaches down, trying to grab that right foot, taking it into dancer's pose. Feel free to kick the foot behind you. Good. And as we rise up, still with balance, we grab onto the foot in front of us. Less of hand to big toe pose, more of a piston pose. So grabbing the foot if you can, or calf if you need to. Kick the leg forward, and it's a forward fold over that leg. Elbows bending out to the sides. A good inhale. Good. Exhale, release. If you need to shake anything out to reset, go for it. Clearing out our system. Back to that calmness. Okay, so here we are again. Shift your weight into right foot. Tree pose, left hip rotates open. Establish your foot so solid down. Posture's rising up. Maybe arms float. Bring the right arm up. Left tries to grab the left foot, swinging it behind dancer. And when we take the leg out in front, piston, grabbing the foot, kick it out, and then elbows bend to introduce the spine closer. Another inhale. Exhale, amazing work. Drop it down, shake it out. Like we just released a lot of stuff that was holding us back. Beautiful. So feet right underneath us. Pull those shoulders so easy. Swimming up to sky, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Just swing that right leg directly back, warrior three. Maybe arms open up to you. And we land that foot to warrior one, arms straight up to sky. Very good, inhale. Exhale, rotate open, warrior two. Feel the hips, those femur bones trying to pull away from one another, create space. Back is lifting, shoulders relaxed, just simple extension. Extended side angle, elbow down or fingers down. And then super long line, that top arm to pull the rest of the body. Back up, keep the front knee bent, reverse it. Feel ourselves stretching just as long toward the back of the room. Good. Rising. And let the toes turn to the long edge of the mat. As we drop down, take a moment with wide angle forward fold. When hands start to walk closer to the left foot, the left knee bends. You can be at a high squat or that low side lunge. Really deep inner thigh stretch. And both legs straighten. Take a full breath cycle right there in the middle of wide angle forward fold. And we'll start to reverse it out to second side. Back up to wide. Nice inhale. Exhale. From the knees, let's roll our way up. And we'll heel toe or jump our feet together. Come back up to the top. Side, feel those shoulders circle so easily up and back. And hands to heart. Left leg starts to swing back. Warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Especially feel those inner thighs trying to rotate open away from one another. Extended side angle. Yep. Reverse it out. And up. Close to the long edge, wide angle forward fold. Hands grab onto right ankle, pull the torso into right leg. Over to left. Release to the center. A good inhale. Exhale. And the knees roll our way up. Stepping backwards off the mat. You can either face the same way or turn to face in. We'll curl the two edges of the mat in. First, we'll take a camel, and then we'll take a frog. So just dropping down to kneeling. Many people tuck the toes just to make it easier. Hands come to the low back, push the hips forward, heart rises up. You can always just keep hands here, or just take one hand down. If you want to go for both, that's fine. If you are a person that's taking just one hand at a time, I'll tell you the halfway point to switch. Inhale. Exhale. And if you're just doing half, you can switch. Inhale. Exhale, both hands to hips. Rise up safely. And we'll go into frog. So set up the knees super wide, as wide as you can get them. We want the shins to be at a 90 degree, so just straight back. We want the hips to also be at a 90 degree, so over that highest spot, and then we lower down to elbows. If it ever gets too intense, just slide forward until your hips are on the ground. But if you can maintain this a few more breaths, keep it slow and even. Imagining we're getting into some deep energy here. Maybe things that have been sucking our energy for quite some time. We're finally giving it space and breath to release, so it doesn't have to suck our energy any longer. Still doing okay. Another huge breath in. Nice exhale. And then walk your elbows forward until you can set the hips on the ground. I usually like to use a couple of nice windshield wipers when I make my way here. Just help those knees, help those hips. Great. When that feels good again, put the mat open back out. And we're going to be on our belly, face forward. Nice, easy space pose. Rectus abdominis getting pulled super long just by us dragging our heart through. Neck is neither jerking back nor dropping down. It's at that nice long angle right in between. And let's take a quad stretch. Left hand swivels in, right hand grabs right toes. Pull it into that gentle stretch. Release. Switch it out to second side. Release. Take a nice child's pose, 2 or 3 good breaths. This will be our last challenge section before we wrap up with some stretches. So we start off in downward facing dog. We'll either work our way to side plank one more time, or we'll go all the way to wild wing pose. Either way, we start off in plank, shoulders over wrists, both heels to the left. If you're taking side plank, right hand just goes up, that's it. If you're taking wild things, step the right foot behind you, lift the hips up, take the back. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, hand drops down, downward facing dog. Good. One more side plank. Heels to right. Either side plank or step left foot behind, lift hips up. Lift. Inhale. Exhale. Hand returns. Downward facing dog. Right leg floats clear up to sky. Feel it reach. And pigeon pose, right leg under and through. Pause for a moment with the back bend, trying to find length on the front of the left hip. That psoas area, that's another notorious spot for holding really tough energy. You can either stay here or bending that left leg. Maybe you're trying for the back bend. Left hand grabbing to left foot. Sometimes slipping to elbow crease. Inhale. Exhale, easy release. Let's drop down. Nice pigeon pose. Hips, another good spot to release some really old, stuck energy. So perhaps just a normal Ujjayi breath is the perfect thing here. If it feels like hard things are coming up, or even if it just intuitively seems like it would be helpful for our energy, you could even kind of take a few of those lion's breaths. Just inhale and exhale, let all that weird stuff out. Whatever breath is helpful. Two more cycles. In our downward facing dog, if you like that recovery, kneeling is also a fine recovery. Give the hips a couple of moments to reset. Whenever you feel ready for left leg, give it a good stretch up to sky if this is your transition. Swing it under and through. Pigeon. Give that hip a chance to lengthen, arching up, maybe even grabbing those back toes. And another tremendous inhale. Exhale, easy release. Same type of pigeon. Any breathing that helps just clear your plate. Clear your board. Blank page. Tabula rasa. Two more good breaths. In any recovery pose, be it kneeling, be it down dog. This recovery pose will be the beginning of the journey towards Shavasana. So as you're listening to your body here, get into any last spots that feel like they still have some stuck energy. And feel free to play with any last poses it takes to work that out. Could be here another full minute or two, whatever it takes. We want easy breath to clear out the energy that's stuck. We're a rush to get to Shavasana because this is us with our bodies. But eventually, when you do feel ready for it, let your breath be the easiest, most restful, most cleansing breath you could possibly manage, whatever that looks like today. Letting that each and every breath just wipe us clean, starting off so fresh. You can take really good deep breaths. Introduce some movements to our fingers and our toes. Ankles and wrists. And a huge stretch. It's first thing in the morning. As we take a fetal position, let's imagine we're restarting our day right here, right now. Sometimes when we start our day the first time, the alarm goes off and we're rattled out of bed and our brain already starts off on such a rushed manner. And so here, we give it just a couple more breaths before we're ready to rise up. We think of how we would like to start our day. Another breath or two until we feel ready. We'll rise together, fresh and energized. As hands come together in front of our heart, feel this blank slate. So much potential energy today. So much creative power we have. So many words yet to be said. So many deeds yet to be done. So many thoughts yet to be thought. We realize with this creative power we have, we can shape today so many directions. And so with this amazing blank slate to carry us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.